Am I the a-hole for resenting my parents for having me as a bringing the family together baby and putting so much on me before I was even born? My parents met after their first spouses died. My mom was 2 years out from her first husband dying, and my dad was maybe 3 years out from his wife dying. It might have been closer to 4. I feel like I heard both. Anyway, they both had kids from their first marriage. My mom had 2 kids who were 6 and 7 when she met my dad, and my dad had a 9-year-old when he met my mom. They dated for like 2 years before they got married. Their kids never liked it. They never got close. Extended family mentioned how fractured things were before they lived together even, and how it got worse when they all moved into the same house. So about a year into their marriage, my parents decided they would have a kid to bring the family together, and that's where I, 17M, come into the equation. Before I was even born, my parents had this idea that everyone would bond over me, and I would be loved, and it would be great. But it wasn't great. Nobody bonded over me except for maybe the two of them. And even then, I think they were bonded just fine before. My half-siblings never wanted a half-sibling. They never wanted their parent to have a baby with someone who wasn't their dead parent. I was not a welcome member of the family, and I have felt that dislike for as long as I can remember back. My half-siblings totally resented me existing, and eventually my parents did too. It was subtle at times, but they used to tell me I had a job to do, and that was to reach out to my half-siblings. If I mentioned how unhappy it made me to be rejected, they'd say I was supposed to keep trying anyway, and that was the whole point. After finding out they had me to bring everyone together, I realized it was their way of saying that was the point of me being alive. Other ways it showed is when I didn't get something 100% right, and they'd ask me if I could ever do what I was supposed to. The older I get, the more it becomes an issue. 2 of my half-siblings got married in the last 2 years. I wasn't invited to either wedding. One of my half-siblings has at least 2 kids now too, and I never met them. My parents encouraged me to send gifts and reach out and try to be involved, but my half-sibling shut that down. Another messed up thing they did in an effort for me to be the unifying baby, or whatever you'd call it, is they named me after their dead spouses. I have the boy version of dad's first wife's name as my first name, and my middle name is a variant of mom's first husband's name. That has sucked on multiple different levels, and apparently my half-siblings blew every fuse when they heard my name for the first time. My parents typically call me by both in some double-barrel type of name. Their families tried to convince them to name me something different, but they said it was symbolic. The only thing it symbolizes is the equal disinterest from my 3 half-siblings. The other day, my parents were mad because I didn't call to wish one of the halves a happy birthday, and they were being really annoying about it, and I told them they sucked as parents. I said they never should have put so much on me or had me for such a dumb reason, and the messed up part was they resented me too. I admitted to resenting them for those choices, and my parents got mad and said it's such a normal thing to do, and I had no reason to resent them or blame them for any of this. Am I the a-hole?